evening and welcome to News Geelong. On News Geelong tonight, we visit the weekly farmers market at Torquay, where local goods tempt the taste buds and prove economic to the purse. From the world of Geelong sport, we venture down to the picturesque surf coast with surfing action from both boys and girls at Janjuk and Anglesea. And from the weather world, sparkling Lani Salathiel will update us with the latest information on what weather lies ahead. St Thomas Anglican Church in Winchelsea celebrated a historic milestone with the 150th anniversary of its first service in the local bluestone and irreplaceable stained glass window building, as Ian Nichols reports.
Today is a momentous day for the Anglican community of Winchelsea, just out of Geelong. It's 150 years celebration of St Thomas's Church, 1861 to be exact, and to our left is the original church built in 1841. Today everybody's turning out, including the Archbishop of Melbourne, Philip Freer, and the vicar is Lillian Morgan, who has some nice stories to tell us about this church. The Reverend Lillian Morgan must be very proud of today, 150 years. How many years have you been here at St Thomas?
4 years today, exactly.
Well, that's appropriate in itself, and 150 years, quite a history. This is not the original church as we stand in at the moment, though.
No, it's not. The first church is known as the school building because it became the school and then the Sunday school and is now the church office and kitchen attached to the back of our hall. It was holding services in 1841. This church obviously was 1861 by the time they realised the need for a larger building and then built this building. The first service was held soon after that. Like most buildings of this era, it was built on a rubble foundation and the soil here is clay, and with the drought that we've had and big trees that were about the building and a few other minor problems, plus a lightning strike, I might add, that hit the front of our church, we have got some structural problems, and we've had two architects look at it and we had an engineer look at it before that, so we're hoping to build up sufficient funds to be able to step by step get it restored to its original.
We couldn't help but notice your feature outside, the carved oak pew, and that is a recent addition to the grounds here?
It is. When the oak tree was removed, because it had damage to it itself and would have fallen at some stage, but also because its roots were the problem, we had it milled by a local man, Peter Kennedy, who very kindly did that for us. And then we stored it for a time and then made the two seats that are now around the rose garden, which is where that huge tree stood.
And it's a privilege for us to have you here. It's a big day for this Anglican community, probably the biggest in quite a long time, I would suggest.
Well, I think they're expecting that to be the case, and I know when I'm speaking I'll be reflecting on the confidence that people who are the pioneers had to build a church like this, and the challenge that gives us in our generation to have a confidence about the future and what we do.
Well, the interior looks magnificent. Unfortunately, the exterior is suffering after all these years, and they've got a restoration project happening, so we can only hope that that's successful as well.
Well, I understand there was a very big oak tree which has now been removed, and I'm told it's probably the source of a lot of the structural damage to one of the walls, so we hope that that damage isn't too extensive and the church can be stable and continue to serve into the future.
Well, let's hope it's a beautiful day. We couldn't have wished for more. Let's hope it turns out to be a wonderful gathering here, a big congregation for this afternoon's event.
And thank you for your good wishes, and certainly every blessing for you and for your listeners.
At the 150 years celebration of St Thomas's Church here in Winchelsea, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. Every Saturday morning from 8:30 a.m. until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, in the car park at Torquay Central, you can walk through the aromas of local regional bread, cheese, wine, organics, eggs, veggies, beer, berries, jam, honey and much, much more, as Ian Nichols reports.
Well, farmers' markets have become something of a phenomenon right across Australia, and particularly down here in Geelong and the Surf Coast. There's one every second week in Geelong, There's one every fourth week in Newtown, and in Torquay there's one here every Saturday morning, and it's all local produce. And that's the good news. The fact that we've had cyclones and floods up north means produce is perhaps at a premium, but prices have not changed here with local producers. I'm standing next to this gentleman here. He's here for the first time at the Torquay Farmers Market. I hope he continues to be part of it. He's adding a little bit of character to today's market. And we're speaking with the organiser of the market, potato retailer I'd call him, Mr. David Bell.
The market's been running for 2 years. We celebrated our second birthday 2 weeks ago. Cut the cake, a giant cupcake from one of my stall holders. And yeah, it's been an interesting 2 years. We've gone from a flying start for the first couple of weeks and then the hard slog through the first winter. But now I think we've become part of the shopping fabric of Torquay, and it's developing very nicely.
Well, you can get lots of local produce, which is important at this time with all the talk of up north with the floods and the cyclone. We're going to find produce perhaps in short supply, but not locally.
There will be some produce that's in short supply. We've had our own problems here in Victoria with floods, storms. The run up to Christmas was particularly overcast. A lot of fruit didn't ripen. I had an apricot grower from Wellington who's ended up harvesting 8 kilograms of apricots. He reckons about an apricot per tree, and the rest has just gone to waste. But part of it is too that people have got to learn that fruit, the beauty's only skin deep. So if your fruit doesn't look as beautiful as it does sometimes, now taste it. That's the important thing, how it tastes. You know, the beauty's only skin deep. What's inside is what counts.
Well, I'm sure local produce does taste better, and that's why you get so many people here every Saturday, and that's a feather in your cap. You are here, rain, hail or shine, aren't you?
We are, as I've texted through to 774 in Melbourne a few times. Rain, hail or shine, we're here, and I've got a few interesting comments from people who've heard it. I mean, this morning, for instance, that paid off. Wayne, the blueberry grower over there, he's from Gellibrand. He's going up to the South Melbourne market. The road's cut. He's heard on 774 Torquay Market's open. He was one of the original stall holders here. He thought, I'll come back to my old stamping ground. So it works well, you know. And local produce, it's the best for you. It's the best. Buying at Farmers Market is the best thing you can do for producers. You know, dig deep into your pockets because you're helping the grower. It's going straight to the people who are producing the fruit and vegetables and the baked goods that you're buying. Nicole, who does the slices down the end, she buys a rhubarb from the man next to me, Ash and Yvonne. So it's a great little community that we're developing here with the market from the producer point of view.
At the Torquay Farmers Market, this is Ian Nichols with Malcolm for News Geelong.
Thank you, Nico. This is News Geelong. We will return with more news following the break.